This continent invented democracy, the internet, and pizza, and almost destroyed the world. Twice. Today, we are going inside Europe, and by the end of this video, you will never see this continent the same way again. Welcome to GeoVault, where we explore every corner of our incredible planet. Today, we are going deep into Europe, the continent that gave the world art, science, philosophy, and 2 world wars. If you are new here, do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon. We upload every single day, covering every place on Earth. Located in the Northern Hemisphere, Europe is the world's second smallest continent by area. It covers 10.5 million square kilometers. That is roughly the size of the United States and Canada combined. But within that space, 44 countries. 44. To the north, the Arctic Ocean marks the edge of civilization. To the south, the warm blue Mediterranean Sea separates Europe from Africa. To the west, the Atlantic stretches all the way to the Americas. And the terrain? Extraordinary. The Alps slice through the heart of the continent, a chain of peaks stretching from France through Switzerland, Austria, and into Italy. Mont Blanc, the tallest, rises 4,808 meters above sea level. 2 great rivers define the landscape. The Rhine flows north from Switzerland through Germany and into the North Sea. The Danube, Europe's second longest river, winds east through 10 countries before emptying into the Black Sea. Climate varies dramatically. Northern Scandinavia is locked in Arctic cold for months. The Mediterranean South basks in sunshine 300 days a year. Central Europe experiences 4 distinct seasons. Europe is small, but it is endlessly varied. 746 million people call Europe home. That is about 10% of all humanity, living in a space you could drive across in roughly 2 days. Within the European Union alone, 27 countries, there are 24 official languages. 24. And that does not even count the dozens of regional languages: Catalan, Welsh, Basque, and many more. Now here is where things get really interesting. The food alone tells the story of a continent that refused to be one single thing. France gave us croissants and coq au vin. Italy gave us pizza and pasta. Spain gave us paella. And Germany? Germany gave us 450 officially recognized varieties of bread. Europe is also the world's most visited continent. Every single year, more tourists come here than anywhere else on Earth. Roughly 700 million international arrivals annually, nearly equal to Europe's entire population arriving again as visitors. Europe's story begins in ancient Greece. Around 500 BC, something extraordinary happened in the city-state of Athens. For the first time in recorded history, ordinary citizens, not just kings and priests, got a vote on how their city would be run. Democracy was born. Then came Rome. At its peak, the Roman Empire stretched from Scotland to Syria, from Portugal to the Persian border. Roman roads, laws, language, and architecture shaped everything that came after. When Rome fell in 476 AD, it did not just end. It transformed into the Catholic Church, the Italian city-states, and eventually, modern Europe. 1,000 years later, Italy sparked the Renaissance. Painters like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo rediscovered the classical world. Scientists like Galileo questioned everything. This explosion of art, science, and human potential lit the fuse for the modern world. Then came the darkest chapters. 2 world wars, fought mostly on European soil, killed over 80 million people combined. Out of that devastation came a radical idea that these nations should never go to war with each other again. The European Union was born, and mostly, it has worked. Number 1. Vatican City is the world's smallest country, covering just 0.44 square kilometers. You could fit the entire nation inside Central Park in New York City and still have room left over. It has its own bank, its own radio station, its own post office, and its own army. All of that in 0.44 square kilometers. Number 2. More languages are spoken in Europe per square kilometer than on any other continent on Earth. In a space roughly the size of the United States, you will find over 200 languages, many of them mutually incomprehensible. cross one border, and you might not understand a single word. Number 3. Norway has more coastline than the entire United States of America. Think about that. The USA spans a continent. Norway is a relatively small country in Northern Europe. But Norway's coastline, when you trace every fjord, every inlet, every island, stretches over 100,000 kilometers. The US coastline? About 20,000 kilometers. Number 4. The European Union has won more Nobel Peace Prizes than any individual country in history, taking home the award in 2012 for 6 decades of keeping peace on a continent that once started 2 world wars. 60 years of peace on a continent that had just finished tearing itself apart. And honestly, that is genuinely remarkable. Number 5. Liechtenstein, a tiny country wedged between Switzerland and Austria, has not fought a war since 1866. But here's the part that still blows my mind. When Liechtenstein sent 80 soldiers to its last war, the Austro-Prussian conflict, they came home with 81. They left with 80 men. They returned with 81. Apparently, they made a friend on the way home. And honestly, that one still blows my mind. So when should you go to Europe? The honest answer is, it depends on what you want. If you want sunshine and beaches, June through August is peak season. But fair warning, so does everyone else. Prices spike, crowds surge. If you want Europe's beauty without the chaos, go in May or September. The light is golden. The crowds are thinner. The prices are kinder. Must see? If I had to pick one place, the Amalfi Coast in southern Italy. It is not just beautiful, it is almost impossibly beautiful. Vertical cliffs dropping into turquoise water. Villages clinging to cliff faces as if refusing to accept gravity. You will understand immediately why this place appears in every travel photograph. But the insider tip? Go to Prague. Most tourists zoom past it on the way to Paris or Rome. But Prague's old town is one of the best preserved medieval city centers on the entire planet. The famous astronomical clock has been ticking since 1410, and it is far more affordable than Western Europe. And the real insider tip? Eat where the menus are only in the local language. If the menu has photographs, move on. The best food in Europe is always where the locals eat. And that is Europe, the smallest continent that changed the world the most. Which fact surprised you the most? Was it Norway's coastline? Liechtenstein's extra soldier? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this journey, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon. We upload every single day, covering every place on Earth. And tomorrow? Tomorrow we are heading to North America, a continent of extremes, from the world's largest freshwater supply to the planet's most powerful economy. Trust me, you do not want to miss that one.